Hey there, word detectives. Welcome to another exciting lesson on Literacy Launchpad. Today, we're diving into a powerful reading strategy that every smart reader needs using context clues to unlock the meaning of new words. Let's jump in and see how this simple skill can make you a stronger, more confident reader. Have you ever been reading something and suddenly, bam, you hit a word you've never seen before? Don't panic. You don't always need a dictionary to figure it out. In this video, I'll show you how to use context clues, the helpful hints hiding all around the tricky words to crack the code and discover what they mean. So grab your thinking cap because we're about to dive into the world of context clues using the SMART strategy ideas. Let's go solve some word mysteries together. What are context clues? Bits of information from the text that, when combined with prior knowledge, allow you to decide the meaning of unknown words in the story or article you are reading. By becoming more aware of the words around a difficult word, you can make logical guesses about the meanings of many words. So, context clues are the hints authors give within a text to help readers like you define difficult, unusual, or unfamiliar words without depending on a dictionary. These hints may be in the form of an inference, definition, example, synonym, or an antonym. An inference is an educated guess. A definition gives the meaning of the word. For the examples, you might see samples of lists, etc. Antonyms meaning words that are opposite. Synonyms, words that are similar in meaning. Why are context clues important? They help us define unfamiliar, difficult words in texts. They help us to become better, perceptive readers. They come in handy during tests when a dictionary or the internet is not available to us. Where are context clues found? In the same sentence as the difficult, unfamiliar word, in the same paragraph or passage as the unknown word. Context clues can be in the sentences following the word, for example. And they are called context clues because they are found in the context of the sentence or passage. Now, let's learn to use context clues like a pro. Spot the unfamiliar word, look at the words around it, ask yourself, what is happening? What is being described? Then make your best guess. Inference clues. Now, this type of context clue can be the most difficult for students to comprehend and put into practice, but you will encounter it quite often. For this type of context clue, students will infer or guess what a word might mean based on details or hints in the sentence or text. For example, Michaela did not like working with Sydney because she always talked about herself. Michaela found Sydney to be so arrogant. Now, what does the word arrogant mean? When looking for this type of context clue, the clues will most likely be close to the unknown word or phrase. Based on this sentence, we might ask, why doesn't Michaela like to work with Sydney? What part of speech might the word arrogant be? Is it a noun or a verb, etc.? Using questions to help identify clues in the text is key to making an inference. Based on the questions and details in the text, we can assume arrogant describes a person who talks about themselves or is self centered. Let's move on to the next type. Definition or explanation clues. In this example, the sentence reads, the Soufra Hills, a volcano in Montserrat, became active again in 1995, meaning it started erupting after years of dormancy. What does the word active mean? The sentence defines the word active in the context of a volcano by directly explaining what it means right after the word, using the phrase meaning it started erupting after years of dormancy. This is called a definition context clue because the author gives the exact meaning of the unfamiliar word right in the sentence, usually introduced by a signal word. Some examples of signal words are meaning, such as this sentence, or is, or you can have refers to, or which means. Do you think you're getting the hang of it now? Let's move on to the next type. Example clues. Now, instead of giving the definition, sometimes authors will include an example to help students understand the meaning of a word. An example might be a situation or an action that further describes the term. In this sentence, it reads, several Caribbean countries depend on exports to earn money. For example, they send goods like bananas, spices, and rum to other countries to be sold. What does the word export mean? Now, in this example, the author included examples of what is exported, like bananas, spices, and rum. This shows that export means sending goods to other countries for sale. The clue phrase, for example, signals that the second sentence is giving examples of what the word means. Next, antonym or contrast clues. Sometimes the author will use an antonym or a word with an opposite meaning to help the reader understand a word within a text. In this example, unlike the dry and arid climate of Aruba, Dominica's landscape is lush and full of rainforests. What does the word lush mean? This contrast helps us understand that lush means the opposite of dry. So we got a description of Aruba's climate being dry, and then the opposite means full of life. And last but not least, the synonym context clue. Of course, this type of context clue is like when an author includes an antonym, but instead of using words or examples that are opposite in meaning, the author uses words with a similar meaning to the unknown word. The hurricane caused devastation or great destruction across several islands, including Dominica. What does the word devastation mean? The phrase or great destruction gives a synonym for devastation. Examples like this are great for helping you practice identifying synonyms as clues within a sentence. Very often, an author will use a series of adjectives separated by commas to describe a person, place, thing, or event.